Okay, everybody, welcome to your second last call of this WellFit 90-day challenge. And before we get started, I want to share a fun story that happened to me a few days ago when I was crossing the border. And it happened that when I crossed the border control officer usually check our IDs and make sure the person who holds the ID is the person who claimed to be, right? So when it was my turn, the border control officer looked at the ID, put the ID, like scan it into the system. And then she looked at the screen and then she looked at me. And she kept looking at the screen and then look at me, look at the screen and look at me. And she finally said, you look a lot thinner now. And I said, I first like smile. I said, yes, I became thinner. But she continued this exercise of looking at the screen and then look at me, looking at the screen and look at me. She was a bit bewildered and cannot really believe this. And at that point, I stopped smiling and I turned into a poker face because I thought, oh no, maybe I should take this more seriously because I really need to cross this border right now. Like, I don't want any trouble. Like, just, let me pass. And this whole staring context lasted for at least 30 seconds. And she still couldn't really believe it. And she had to get her supervisor to come over and do the same thing over again. So her supervisor came over and the border control officer whispered a few things to the supervisor. And the supervisor, again, staring at the screen like closely and then look at me, stare at the screen really closely and then look at me, ask the same question. You lost a lot of weight, right? I said, yes. And at that point, I was just trying to be as stern as possible because I remember in my ID photo, I didn't really smile that much. So I didn't want to make it like a lighthearted thing. And I would just want to be, professional and get it over with, right? And the border control officers like asked me to like put my hair back so I can like show my ears, and that's apparently one way for them to see if I am who I am, claim I am to be, right? Yeah. But this whole exercise, it just shows that apparently I look very different from the moment that I took that photo ID. And to be honest with you, I actually didn't really lose that much weight after the 90 days or even after the 90 days. But my overall body composition, such as like my muscle mass, like bone densities, I know has a significant difference because I am a lot leaner now. I am thinner. And to some people, it just translates to lost a lot of weight. But the point I want to share with all of you is, again, the weight, the scale is just one number. It doesn't really translate everything of our overall health. Because I can tell you right now, I feel a lot more energized than my before WellFit life. And I can definitely feel that my muscle, I feel stronger. Like my muscle is I have more muscle mass, I can tell, because like Frank said, because he and I practice self-defense in the same school, and sometimes we partner up with our self-defense trainees to do some exercise like punches and kicks. And I don't know if you recall that Frank said once that he felt at one point my kicks and punches are stronger. So all these are indications of my health transformation. And again, that scale is, I understand it's like one indication, but doesn't mean everything. And to be honest with you, I don't even own a scale, so I don't really check my weight that often. Usually it's when I go to a place, maybe a gym or somewhere that happens to be one there, I'm curious of what my weight was and I'll go do it. But I do it, I mean, we're in July now in 2020. I can tell you I've done it. I've weighed myself less than 6 times this year so far. So just to me, because it's just to me, that number is not that significant. Really, it's really down to how I feel and how I'm living, generally speaking. So I hope all of you can remember this. At the end of the day, there's so many elements that can counter of how healthy we are. All right, so that's one story that I wanted to share about about that. It was a little bit scary, I have to tell you, because what if like the border control officer doesn't let me go, right? But oh yeah, okay, I didn't even finish the story. So in the end, they let me go, like luckily. But there are times that it could be a lot more like troublesome. So luckily, just that didn't happen. And so now, since I'm at a place where any questions or comments?
Oh.
Okay, no, okay, I'll continue that. So since now I'm a place where the environment is a bit restricted, I'm not able to go do some shopping outside, and also because I don't have a travel blender with me, and so I'm unable to make the alkalizer. I'll tell you that I definitely missed it. But I also, at the same time, I also want to share a tip with you here for all of you in the future. If you're traveling, and if you, let's say you don't have a travel blender, or if you're unable to arrange yourself making an alkalizer, such as ordering from a smoothie shop at your destination, or maybe if you happen to stay in a hotel where the hotel can make you one. If you are in a situation like me right now, I'm a bit restrictive. What I do instead is I order ingredients of the appetizer and I eat it instead of blending it. The difference is it just takes more time because I have to like gather all the greens, the avocado, like the what else, the celery and whatnot. But that's one way you want to keep having your consumption of veggies going. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so I'm actually, for my quarantine so far, I want to say that so far so good, and it's actually not so bad because I'm allowed to order takeaways and also groceries delivery. So that's one reason that I'm able to order the alkalizer ingredients for me, and I even order. Let me show you this. I even like order a coconut, like a real coconut, that I can just drink from, instead of from like a carton of like coconut juice. So I'm loving this. This is great, and it's not so expensive. And the hotel. Okay, I'm gonna put this away first. And the hotel also offer fruits for all of us. We get a box of fruit every day. Let me show you. I'll be right back. Okay, so like a bag of fruit like this, it's awesome. They even leave a note here to me. It's really nice. So every day is different. And this morning, today I had mango longan. It's like a Thai fruit, and then I had a peach. And then tomorrow I have Joey's favorite, the dragon fruit. And I also have a pear, and then like some tiny apples here. So it's really nice. And this is going to be my breakfast now. So I'm put myself in the summer season because of what's available to me right now. And that's another point I want to mention here too is yes, have your seasons, the ratios down, but don't be so rigid about it either, because if you're in an environment that does not allow you to be in that particular season, change it up. It's okay. You ultimately have your own control of what you want to do. So yeah, I'm supposed to go in spring the next few days, but I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to stay in summer because I like these fruits. It's really nice, and I don't want to waste it. So there you go. Any question, comment so far?
Oh, it's cool. It's really cool, Wendy. Yeah.
Great. Okay. Then I want to share another story, which is about emotional hunger. And this story ties into Joey's story that she shared with us on Monday about how she's having this one last breakfast with her colleagues on Tuesday before a full day dine-in ban take effect in Hong Kong on Wednesday. So starting from today in Hong Kong, all the restaurants no longer offer dine-in service because it's one of the social distancing measures that the Hong Kong government is implementing in efforts to contain the virus spreading. So just to recap what the story was. So Joey told us about this. So she's having this one last breakfast, quote unquote, like for now with her colleagues. And she was like struggling about what to eat. And since she's been missing her typical Cantonese style 茶餐廳 breakfast, right? So how long has it been, Joey? Like 2 months that you haven't had those breakfasts, right?
3 months. Yeah.
Well, 3 months. Okay, yeah. So it's been a while. It's been a while for her, right? And so how is that related to my story? Well, I also had that nostalgia feeling coming when I knew that I was about to leave Hong Kong. And just like our emotions are so strong sometimes that it really has such a big effect on how we decide what to eat. So I also has that nostalgia feeling of like, oh, like I'm leaving, I'm probably not gonna have this type of food in a while. So guess what? I also went to a 茶餐廳, like a Hong Kong style cafe, and had a sandwich. And this is like a toasted sandwich, and I can choose the what the ingredients inside. And out of all the ingredients, I chose the healthier ones. And basically, it's a lot of processed food, like processed meat, like ham, like luncheon meat or spam, and then corned beef hash or egg. And for me, I was like, you know what? I just want to like, I just miss this feeling, and I also don't feel like I need to eat processed food. So what I end up was I went to that restaurant and I had a toasted sandwich with egg only. And I was a bit amazed at this restaurant that they were so cheap. They only gave me one egg instead of like they didn't give me like double eggs or what. I just one piece of egg and then the toasted bread. So anyway, I was so excited. I was like, yay, I haven't had this in such a long time because I honestly do not remember the last time I had this type of sandwich. I really don't. Like at least a year or maybe even longer than that, maybe 2-3 years. I really don't remember. But it's just really the feeling of like, oh, I'm leaving Hong Kong. And so I'll just get it, hey, it won't hurt, right? Again, that's my emotional hunger came in. So I had it. I had my first bite and I was disappointed, I have to say. Why? Because it does not taste as good as I remember it will be. I don't know if it's because I ordered the healthier ones or what. It was complete disappointment. So from then on, after the first bite, the whole emotional hunger just went away. And I knew that like the food does not satisfy the feeling I was looking after. And I know it happens to all of us. I think Joey can also share her experience too, right? On Tuesday, we'll hear from her. What did you feel? Yeah, did you feel? Was it the food that gave you the feeling?
Yes, it was. But yesterday, my friend also tried to cut half piece of his ham to me for me to taste it. Oh, but it's surprised that it tastes sweet to me. Should be salty, but it tastes sweet. Yeah.
Well, that your taste buds have changed, Joey. After all these 3 months that you've been having the alkalizers and also eating a lot more clean than you used to, so your taste bud has calibrated. Now you're able to taste something that it's supposed to be sweet that you didn't taste before. But did you find those food that you had does it taste as good as you remember it was? So
oh, the taste seems much plainer than being delicious as I tasted before.
see,
So plain.
Yeah. So it's different for you too, right? It tasted different.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's only emotional hunger. That satisfies my feeling only.
Yeah, you and me right there. High five. Yeah, it happened to me as well. Like I said, I had that feeling. I had that first bite of that sandwich. I was like, this is so plain. I also felt that way too. It's just And honestly, I can actually make that dish at home. I really can because it's so easy to make. But it's more of the environment, the decor, the people around, and all that ingredients that made that consists of that nostalgia feeling. And I want you to know
Yeah.
that all of us have that too. So you just have to remind yourself, wait a second, is this emotional hunger? If it is, what what feeling does this food was supposed to give me? And for me was, I'm missing Hong Kong. I know that, like, it's nostalgia. So I went for a food that I thought it will satisfy that feeling, but clearly it didn't. It didn't.
Yeah.
I know. So then what I'm going to do is I have to find other ways to fulfill that emotional needs that I have, right? And well, I can call a friend. I mean, I'm talking to you guys, you know, because that has like at least two of you in Hong Kong that make me feel like, oh yeah, there's a connection there with Hong Kong, right? So that's one way for me to fulfill that emotions. For all of you going forward, when their emotional hunger strike again, just really ask yourself, like, what emotion am I needing at that moment right now? And how else can I fulfill that emotional need without using food? Because 9 out of 10, the food does not fulfill it, just like my situation this time. And perhaps for Joe, well, it was more like an opportunity for you and your friend to gather together, right, Joey?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Last Sunday I tried to make my own combination of breakfast, as if as if I had it at the Hong Kong style cafe. I fried my own egg and add a piece of sausage.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the feeling is totally different.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something emotional. The
Yeah,
combination of the food and the environment and who are eating with you.
exactly. So
Yeah,
it's actually a social connection. It was you with your peer, with your colleagues. It was
yeah,
a social connection. Because I can tell you, there are many times that when I go out to have group dinners, I don't even taste the food as much, even though I'm eating it, because at those moments, I'm usually enjoying the company of my friends. Maybe the conversations that we're having, the discussions that we have, what kind of debates. Most
yeah,
of the time, I don't taste the food. I I was really enjoying the company instead.
exactly.
Great. So Jerry, I'm very happy for you that you see a difference now. That you can see the way that you were explaining is actually making Kim and I very, very proud and happy, because I think you are now have more awareness of how these foods making you, and you can tell the difference between the food is just a food and it's actually something else that go along with the food make you feel a certain way. Like you said, like you try to make the same food item at home, it doesn't really feel the same, right?
Even the sausage, which I've been eating since I was a small child, it tastes so salt.
Yeah,
The combination is so strange. I throw it away after a few bites.
nice, good for you.
Yeah,
It's not healthy at all, like the it's so
it's too
salty.
salty that it makes my throat feel uncomfortable.
Wow, I'm so happy for you, because I
Yeah,
definitely remember in the past you would just keep eating and perhaps like finish the plate instead of like thinking too much about it. And now you actually throw away that dish because you know that it's hurt. You feel the discomfort, right? You said that you
yeah, yeah.
feel your sore throat and whatnot. That that is the way to go. Honestly, if like this 90 days you have learned nothing, and at the end you were able to like knowing how to like turn away a dysfunctional dish, I'm already happy. I'm already very, very happy for it. But of course, I know you have a lot more other accomplishments here, but I'm just saying, like, for this alone, it's already a big accomplishment. So nice job. So great.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. The next thing that I want to share with you here is my calendar. And so since this week is all about discussing living well fit, um, I'm an organized person. I like to put things down in calendars, and I use a combination of a digital calendar, like a Google Calendar or Apple iCal, and also a written down calendar as well. Actually, when I grew up, I started off with a calendar always. So it's something like this, you know, you can get it anywhere. I think like a lot of the stationery shop or bookstore will sell them. And they have this monthly, you know, thing here. So I'll just plan my ratios or my wild fit ratio on what season I want to be in. And I also I'm a visual person, and I like to use different color pen to highlight things so that I know I know that what day of the season I'm in. And so why I use this calendar instead of a digital one is because um, so my digital calendar is more like my work and stuff. It's like already my digital calendar, to be honest with you, is already quite full, and I want to separate it from my food and social calendar sometimes so that it's easier for me to see. But feel free to combine calendars. You can do whatever you like, right? So for me, I like using this view to write down like summer day 1, like summer day 2, stuff like that. The reason why is because I can also add if there's any like special occasions, such as a wedding or a birthday party. I'll also put it down as well, so that I know that, okay, this is a special, like a really special occasion here, and I want to see what season I'm in that day, and I want to see, okay, if it's just like a party, I mean, it's likely that I might not be in spring, or if I really want to stick with my calendar, I can still be in spring, but at least I will have a sense of where I'm going with it, right? That's why I like using these calendars to mark my intention, like my plan, my ratios here. Okay, any questions about that? All right. So about the ratios, try out a ratio that you are comfortable with, and feel free to experiment with the length of the ratios. I'll tell you that a lot of us, after we finish WildFit, we might be working in one way, and then as time goes by, we may evolve and do another different types of ratio as well. So again, everything is evolving. We don't have to be so rigid about it. I'll tell you that after I finished the 90 days, I feel like I was in category 2. So then for me, I was in spring. Spring was my base season, and I had a longest spring period than summer. So I think I might have like a 5-day of spring and then 2 days of summer, something like that. So for some of us, if we prefer a longer duration, because of planning purposes, it's easier for grocery shopping. You can also do maybe like 2 weeks of spring and 1 week of summer, maybe 1 week of fall, or a few days in winter if you want to try that out as well. So it's up to you if you want to plan it, if you want to rotate it by dates or if you rotate it by weeks. See whichever you're more comfortable with. And after a while, I feel more comfortable. Then I change to category 1. And when I'm in category 1, I experiment with like shorter duration. So in category 1, my base season will be in summer. Summer is like maintaining. And for me, it will be around 6 days or 5 days of summer and then 2 days of spring. And that's how I rotate it. And for me, I also do fasting once a month. I'll do a 3-day water fast or an alkalizer fast. And I quite enjoy fasting. Reason being is because it saved me a lot of time. I prepare most of my meals these days. And when I'm fasting, I don't have to think about, okay, what I'm going to eat, what am I going to cook, what I'm going to make. Like, I don't have to spend time doing dishes. And also the benefit of fasting is our body get a chance to take a break, our digestive system get a chance to take a break. Because think about it, all of our body organs, like we do take breaks once in a while. And the really exception is probably the heart and our digestive system. Because even if we're sleeping, our heart is still pumping, it's still working, right? So it's important to like keep a healthy heart. But our digestive system also rarely gets a break, because for some of us, especially if we like to snack at night or maybe like eat before we go to bed, our stomach, our digestive system is still working while we're asleep, which is not ideal because the digestive system also deserves a break as well. So winter fast is an ideal way for the digestive system to completely take a break so that it can repair inside whatever that needs to repair, the gut and whatnot. So any questions, comments about this?
So I'd like to ask, how days that we can experience for a seasonal change? Say in the week, 6 days of spring or summer, is it okay? Or
So,
can our body sense?
oh, sorry, Joey, I cannot hear you. Is it just me or?
Yeah, it's faint.
Okay, Joey, can you start the question from the beginning again, please?
I'd like to ask, is there any minimum number of days that we should allow for each seasonal change?
Not really. No, it's all up to you how. But I will tell you this though, from a planning purpose, it's probably easier to rotate it by week, because I mean, assuming that you will be preparing a lot of meals, or at least think about where you're gonna go eat if you're eating outside. There's a lot of planning involved if your season duration is short. It's like a few days of this, a few days of that. So I would say that from a planning purpose, rotate it by weeks. It's probably easier. But if you wanna do it in a shorter period of time, it's up to you as well. You can experiment it.
Say this week, I prefer to stay in spring, but as I said, I want to have some fruits to increase my body hydration. So I added some fruits to my Alka-Seltzer this morning.
Yeah.
So is it disrupting my original plan, and how can the body sense which season am I in?
So technically, in the spring season, there's not much fruit in it. So if you'll be adding fruits, then from a wild food perspective, it's not in spring anymore.
Yeah.
Right, Kim? Am I correct here? Right? It's
Yeah. It could be a mild spring if it's just a few berries or something. But
but
when you start richer fruits, then you're out. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because once you incorporate fruit, you will probably already be in the summer season already, or depends on what kind of fruit that you have, and it might be in fall as well.
So what should I have tomorrow or the day after this?
What season would you want to be in?
What if my original plan is spring this week?
If your plan is to be in spring this week, then have you had a chance to read the Living Wild Fit ebook?
Not yet.
Okay. So take a chance to read this ebook. All your questions will be answered there, especially
Okay.
like what season I should be in and what should I eat. The thing is, if you want to be in spring, then spring is about proteins and lots of veggie. So for tomorrow, definitely have
change it.
So tomorrow,
I better change it. Sorry. Well,
yeah. So then, what have you been eating in the spring season then? Right? Probably Alka-Seltzer and lots of vegetables. That will be the plan.
switch to summer or fall instead.
Cindy will come to you in a second. So Joey, what was the question again?
So after taking the fruits to work today, then should I switch or a fall for tomorrow?
Sorry, I couldn't hear the first part of the question. Can you repeat one more time, please? My internet is so good.
I'm asking for tomorrow. Should I switch to some?
Should you switch to summer?
Spring?
Okay, let me ask you.
Is it okay?
Let me ask you, what's your goal right now with your health?
Uh, go.
Yeah.
Some.
Let
I
me
don't
ask
know.
you, for instance, I'm sure there's some ideas at the back of your mind. Maybe maybe you don't want to share with us, which I can understand too. So I'll quickly explain this. So if you feel that you have weight that you still want to release, spring will be an ideal season for you. And so think of this way, like spring, it's for releasing. Spring is for releasing. Summer season is for maintaining. So whatever you feel comfortable with, you just want to maintain where you are. Summer will be a good space season. And for fall, it's for building. So let's say if I want to build more muscle mass, I'm a teenager, I'm a kid, I'm growing, or I'm pregnant, like I need to grow a baby inside me, then fall will be an ideal base season. And for winter, it's ideal for, one second, it's for healing. Winter is ideal for healing. We talked about it on Monday.
Yes.
If we are ill and sick, our body is so busy fighting the virus inside, it actually does not have a lot of energy in digestion. So therefore, if we're ill, not feeling great, a winter fast will be ideal. Do an Energizer fast. Okay, and Joey, this is your guidebook going forward. Definitely take a look at this. Do you know how to get it? Do you know where to get this?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's 14 pages long, easy to read, and all your questions about what you're gonna do after this 90 days is all in here. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. Cindy, questions?
Eric mentioned that when doing the 90 days program, our springs was very like sort of the abnormal spring, right? It's
Yes.
not the normal. So I that's the part I don't understand. Then what is the normal spring we should be experiencing? Like the only experience we have is spring, right? What is the normal spring?
Great question. I'm so glad you brought it up. That's something I definitely want to distinguish as well. So Cindy asked about the spring that we all experience in the 90 days is an extreme version of spring. And the reason why we put you all in the extreme version of spring is because we want to do it as a hack to get your body into fat burning mode and sustain it in fat burning mode. So that's why we go into like the extreme version of it. So when we are after these 90 days, when we go into spring again, you have a choice if you want to go to the extreme version of spring. Let's say you want to like release a lot. You still have weight that you want to just release. Go for that. Or if you just want to, experiment going in and out of the fat burning mode, but maybe not had like so much that you want to release, then yeah, go into a mild spring. So what is a mild spring? Well, root vegetables are allowed in mild spring, actually. So your sweet potatoes, lotus roots, carrots, beets, like those are okay in mild spring. So the vegetables that is like slightly sweet are okay in mild spring. Kim, anything to add here?
Yeah, those middle foods that's on the list, those are the ones that you can introduce into a more mild spring. And if you're wanting to do weight release in spring, this is where your keto sticks will come in handy, because you've introduced some of those middle foods. Check with a keto stick, you're still in fat burning mode. And if you've dropped out, then you know that you can't have those sweeter vegetables in there. So that's just another hack to go forward.
Okay, so it's more it depends on your body, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that for me, my body is actually very well adapted in fat burning mode right now. Even though if I'm in a summer season, I use the keto stick and check, and I'm still on the low end of releasing ketones. So that means I'm still on the low end of fat burning mode, even though I'm having fruits in the morning, having a mango and all those sweet fruits. So, and it's okay. And it's actually fine for me. I'm happy with it because fat burning mode, it's ideal for me. in fat burning mode, I get a more sustained energy throughout the day, which I don't get those energy dips after meals. And another benefit is my mood also stabilizes. Like I don't get so angry, grumpy easily as some people will face in the sugar burning mode. So my body is it's quite stable in the fat burning mode now. I'm happy with it.
Okay. But for those like root vegetable, isn't that also summer? Like, so summer is definitely in, like those are definitely in, but in a mild spring, it's the fact of testing your body out that can your body accept that in
Yeah.
order
Exactly.
you know.
And also, Cindy, you actually point out really well earlier. You said that everyone's body type is different. So for my version of mild spring might be different for your version of mild spring because of our sensitivity to certain type of food. So take a lot of these guidelines that WildFit give you, especially the ones in these books, like as a recommendation, as a guideline, and still try it out on your own. See how your body reacts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just as an example, because we've, Reggie and I have both been in spring. We checked because the cherry season is coming to an end, and wanted to see how many cherries we could have and still stay in ketosis. So we actually got them, and I said to Reggie yesterday, I said, "Well, I ate 7 cherries, and I'm still in ketosis." So we,
You can
that's
you can definitely do it the very scientific way that the Smiths are doing, like counting down to how many now. That's like type A personality people. It's all good. Like definitely no judgment here, but it's just like this is, we all have different personalities, and that some people are so scientific that way, and some people may be like more relaxed about it and whatnot. So no right or wrong answer here. It's all good, and see how we all do things differently.
Can I add something to that, please?
Yes, go for it.
First of all, hello everybody, and congratulations to you, Wendy, as well, with passing your exam yesterday.
Yes, thank you.
Very good. So what I see now is actually, if you're talking about a mild spring, it's nice, of course, but I think there's a very thin line between a mild spring and summer.
Yeah.
And the problem I see, the moment you lose ketosis, the state of ketosis, then immediately you don't do any weight release no more.
Mm.
So it is actually I think why Wendy asked Joey, what do you want? What is your goal? If weight release or less weight is your goal, then try to stay away from the very thin line, I think, and that's why we were measuring all the time. Otherwise, you flip out of ketosis so easily. You're so close to it. I think you have to be careful with that. And yesterday, because Kim also passed her exam, and we did some kind of a celebration. We still fell for it and just tried to sort of celebrate. Then I thought, now not a treat, but I wonder what the effect was, and I already sort of felt that it's going to be a problem. So I took an apple cider, and I thought, it's nice, it's fresh, and it's usually when I drink that brand, I think it's Bandit or something, that is quite sort of earthy kind of tasting and not so sweet. But I already saw the thing, and I think, now this is going to be a big problem because it's going to be very, very sweet because of my recalibrated
Taste bud.
And of course, and it was a problem. It did. It was not normally sweet. It was almost like the glaze on my teeth was jumping off. And I even wanted to stop drinking it. I just wanted to leave it. Maybe I should have done that health-wise. But what I did was I drank the whole bottle. Yeah, whole bottle was like 30 centiliters or something. I drank it all. And at that moment, the cider as a product dropped under my don't line. So at the moment, so now for the next time, I won't be even ordering it anymore because it was kind of gross actually how sweet that was.
Wow.
And
Mm.
so it was a good checkout for me. So, but I
Yeah.
jumped out of ketosis because this morning I checked and I was out of ketosis. No problem. There's way too much sugar in it.
That's
Okay.
good. Yeah. See,
I'm gonna.
it's all an experiment, right? And I think we all have to just keep having this curiosity of what works and what doesn't work for our body going forward.
Yeah, that's it. That's the whole thing. And it's more like an experiment. And sometimes you have an idea that something is going to work or not work. Sorry, I'm relocating. That's why I turned black.
Oh, okay.
But that's the problem. And you just, it's not even that I want to have it confirmed that I think it's going to be not so nice. And then it happens. That's, I think, what Wendy did with, was it a dumpling or something? And then it is bad, and then you think, oh yeah, I'm so glad I was right, and that's so I won't be craving for it anymore. That's a great benefit of it. So, but that was just fun. The 5 and the 7. I had 5 cherries before, and I didn't check the doses. But that's not the main thing. But what you do learn from that is that you can have some fruit, not too much, not like in the old days. To stay in on your schedule that you're practicing at that moment. So, yeah. But
You really got to get those keto sticks.
yeah,
You really-
and the thin it's such a thin line. If you're going to that border, and before you know it, you flip out of ketosis, and then you don't lose weight, and that can be very frustrating if that's your goal, of course.
Yeah.
So be careful there, I think.
But I think, Joey, there's also other health goals that you have too, right? That you have for you, because I don't think weight release is the only thing. What about your blood pressure level?
Yes, I think it's quite stable.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
really happy to
yeah.
hear that. I hope your
Yeah.
appointment goes well, and definitely let us know if you can reduce medications going forward.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and also I think your other health goals will probably be let's say you want to improve your allergy symptoms, right? That's probably another health
Yeah.
goal that you have. Yeah, so in what would you suggest, Kim? Like, what season would that be ideal for it healing, or what do you think?
Yeah. Well, I know also Joey mentioned she was you had problems with your skin, was it? And I think
Yes.
summer, just having those some of those summer fruits in there. I think summer would be a good season for you to see if your skin stabilizes for you.
Yes, it already improves during these 2 days.
That's
Yeah.
good.
So
Yeah.
I put some fruits into my diet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So try it out first. So sounded like so you probably be in summer season then.
Summer.
So
Yeah.
what kind of fruit are you having?
Today I have the red dragon fruit
Mm-hmm.
and then avocado and then orange.
Yeah.
Then celery and cook my special energizer.
Oh, okay. So you put 2 fruits in your. So you put the dragon fruit and the orange in your energizer as well.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. That's a lot. Wow, that must be a big a lot of liquid there then.
Yeah. It made me so
Interesting.
full this morning.
Yeah, interesting. That's interesting. I usually separate my. I make 2 smoothies. I will make like a fruit smoothie and then an alkagizer, which is mostly greens. But
Yes,
if
it would be better, but I'm running out of time. I'm running short
Oh.
of time, and I need to hurry to work.
Oh, that's understanding. Yeah, sure, that's understanding. Yeah, okay,
Uh,
good to know. So yeah, this week it's all about experimenting, see what you're comfortable with. And Joey, if you already see your body's improving from adding some fruit back in, and this dry skin problem is improving, then stay with it for a little bit to see how it goes going forward as well.
Yeah.
okay.
It might be that you can flip between summer and spring quite easily so you're managing your weight loss goals, but you're keeping enough nutrients for your skin. for your dry skin. So switching up between the summer and the spring, you know, whether you want to do 5 days in summer and then 2 days in spring, or flip that round, but you're keeping that combination of the fruits in there for your skin. So that seems to be working for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Play with it. Play with it.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah. How's
Good.
this? Yeah. How's this week been working for you, Cindy?
So so my weight went up actually this few days with my experiment.
Okay.
So it did go up a little. And yesterday, well, I mean, I did the 24 hours on Alkagizer fasting.
Mhm.
It's so many. I guess it gets very emotional in a way that, oh, like, oh my gosh, I think mentally I don't like, I thought I'm mentally prepared because of I get all the ingredients and stuff, but then it feels like I am talking myself out of it like very quickly. Even the food is ready in the fridge. And so I did the 24 hours. Immediately the 24-hour ended, I gave my go, and then I went ahead to eat something else. But I was just trying it. I think it's just more on I think it might just because this past week since Saturday, like I've been eating like other stuff that, you know, the empty stomach kept kicking quite a lot when I was doing the fasting as well. That's why, like, even I have good intent to start out, but then I couldn't make it last. So since yesterday I did the 24 hours, so I started like after my big meal in the breakfast, like after my lunch sort of, and then last night I started on my, you know, Alkagizer dinner, and then this morning Alkagizer breakfast and lunch. Then sort of ended my 24 hours. It actually works better this way, so that I don't feel as hungry actually, that way. Versus if I start off in the morning and then more toward like at nighttime, I feel the empty stomach hunger kicks in a lot more. So I'm just trying out. So like I said, I want to try out winter this week. And I will see if I can, you know, maybe squeeze in another day in there for this week for another fast on Alkagizer. But you know, after Alkagizer, other than that, like I did add in fruit the other day, like a banana and an orange. So today afterward, I had like cherry tomatoes. So like I mean probably I mean I'm definitely off ketosis like since Saturday. So I didn't even bother want to check. I know I'm definitely off. But you know, probably now when I'm resuming to my next time fasting, hopefully I can stay on spring for, you know, this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That's good experiment there. I'm curious. Oh, actually, yeah. Talking about fasting, right? Because I've done it a few times. I'll tell you, Cindy, the first day is the hardest. Kim and Reggie, would you agree with me? The first day is the hardest to do a fast.
Yeah.
Totally. Totally. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's the worst. But then the second day, how do you feel the second day, Kim and Reggie?
Oh yeah, it's pretty easy actually the second day. Yeah.
Gets easier, isn't it?
It definitely gets easier. You start taming the devil and all the dialogue that's going on in your head. You get that under control on the first day, but it's rampant. You know, the food devil is going crazy and the sugar monster on the first day, but it does calm down.
Yeah. I've done, so now I do a water fast or Alkagizer fast 3 days, like once a month. And in the beginning, I was also feeling like crap. In fact, the first time I did a fast, it was winter. It was like a Beijing winter, which is like a New York City winter. Oh, I think Cindy will get this analogy, but let me explain what a New York City winter is. It's like yeah, it was like -10, snowy sometimes, and I tried it out. God, like my body was just so cold. And
Yeah.
the first day was was okay. More like towards the end of the first day, I was like, why am I so cold? Like I had to like wear extra clothes. And the second day was the same. So the first time I did it, I think I only did 2.5 days, and then I gave up. I was like, oh my God, I'm feeling so crap. Like I'm so cold. Like I break that water fast by having an alkalizer. And I had to turn the alkalizer into a soup, warm soup, to warm my body. And my body felt so nourished after that. But it was a good experiment. And then the second time I did it around was in the springtime, and it wasn't so cold anymore. And I tried the water fast again, and I did it the 3 days. I did it the 3 days, and I noticed my body was cold. I know that this is like everybody has different reaction, but for me, my body would just felt cold. But because I've had the first time experiments, I knew that the second time this might happen again. So then I just prepare myself. I just wear more clothes, like turn on the heat perhaps, because I really want to try to experiment with it. And also, I really want the benefit of cleansing, of like healing, like letting my digestive system taking a break and whatnot. So, and yeah, so I'm now just tried it out. So Cindy, I completely understand. First day, it's like, you know, but I'm curious. You said that you talked yourself out of it, right? What were some of the conversations you had about the fast?
I think the first day, like I mentioned on Monday, I wanted to start out, but then I have food that it's gonna expire if I want to do like it was expiring already, and I was like, oh, I don't want to waste the food, so I tuck myself out of it, and then the Hong Kong announcement about like no eating out anymore, like you cannot dine in. So like I mean it doesn't really impact me that much because I'm home anyway. But then it's just like another reason, oh I want to order this food that before, because I'm just afraid certain restaurants will be closed during this period, and it's in my head and say, okay, you know what, before I go on to this fast, let's eat all the food that you have been thinking about, so that hopefully when I'm doing the fasting, I'm not like always thinking about certain things. So I did that, and I think when I started the fast yesterday, I think my heart is more settled, is more willing to do it. It's just that the past few days that like my body feels very different. It doesn't feel good. And I am trying to identify what is making me not feel good.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm eating too many crap that I can't even identify what's not making me feel good. Right?
Hey, at least you know. At least you
Yeah.
know though, and you're aware of it. So you know how you know that. So this is the consequence of eating so many convoluted food, that it's difficult to track and trace which one was the culprit, or which several was the culprit that made me feel crap.
So I was like extremely tired after meal, and like the energy level is just different. Like even in the morning, but my rest has been not that great in the morning as well. It's because the dogs, they wake me up quite early, and then last night I was trying different things. Like I actually closed all my doors so they don't actually run into my bedroom like 5 a.m. in the morning. They will come in every hour to make sure, hey, it's time to get it. It's like it's unbelievable.
Feed me. You know what? The dogs are just like us, like I'm hungry. Like, come on. So Cindy, let me ask you, after this experiment, what are the chances that you will do this again?
I mean, that's one of the things that I've been contemplating a lot for this past week, like living wild fit. But probably will be something I will talk to Wendy separate privately. To me, that like I mentioned before, would wild fit be a perfect fit in my lifestyle? I would have, at this moment I would say no, because of maybe I'm still getting used to it. I definitely see the benefits of this program. I think it's a lot more structured than my other things that I've done in the past, that it more on the food psychology wise. I agree 100%. And but then how to, you know, implement that into my daily life or in my lifestyle, that is something I've been contemplating a lot, that, you know, how's that going to work for me, right? If I am constantly like, I don't have the same discernment like Reggie say, no more cheese, right? Like no more dairy. Like he felt it, he knew it, and maybe he sees the immediate effect. Oh, my allergy is gone, so I know this is bad.
He had a lot more pain than you did. That's one. And also he's been living longer than you and I have. Not dating, but I'm not like you know, talk about, but just it's a matter of fact, right? So it's natural for a person who's gone through a lot more pains and who's lived longer than us, perhaps have a different perspectives. So I'm glad you bring this out, Cindy, and it's not really comparable in that sense, because everybody's different. We're in different stage, and I will on Friday's call, Cindy, I will go into a lot more about how to support all of you going forward, and so just hang tight. And there will be ways to help you how to implement this into your lifestyle. And you're right, like you are new. I mean, we're all new to this outfit, and I'll tell you, after I finished the 90 days, I was not able to figure out, okay, what season am I in? I'm exactly like you guys, like, you know what, Cindy, I mean, what Joey just asked me, like, what season should I be in? Like, what am I doing here? Like, I was just like all of you, so I know. The thing is, every time we learn something new, it takes time to practice in order to get it into our system, that we fully understand something. And we've only been through this for 90 days. I know it sounds like it's not a whole lot. It is a significant amount of time, but consider picking up on a lifestyle. It does need some time to learn, understand, and adapt. So so this is just the beginning for a lot of you, and I'll tell you this, like I had Reggie, go ahead.
Yeah, because of my age and stuff. No, funny thing is that I said to Kim, I think it was yesterday, correct me if I'm wrong, but I said, if I only would have known, and I wouldn't have done so much damage to myself. Wow. So, and that's the great thing, when you're so much younger, you didn't have that, you didn't do so much damage to yourself as I already have done, except at the 4.5 liters of cola light per day. It's ridiculous, of course, but that's why I was so fanatic about it. And then I can see what the effect was, and I must say it's spectacular. To me, it's spectacular. I thought I would have less allergies. No, I don't have them at all anymore. That's unbelievable to me. So maybe that helps you to get through that psychological barrier, because you got the chance now already to keep the damage as low as possible. Especially things about heart and your heart is and your lungs and stuff like that. And you know it now, if your lungs are going, you're up for the fan in when you got COVID or something. All those people who have big problems when they have COVID, then it's always because they're too fat. They have too much fat around their lungs, the center area. I got that information from Kim, by the way. Then it's more killing to you. So maybe it helps. I don't know.
Reggie, thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate it. And I hope you're not offended at all when I brought up the fact that you had a lot of pain. Because you're absolutely right. And I'm so glad you're telling all of us this, because some of us were, I would say, we were lucky that we didn't go through that amount of pain that you went through. That's why we didn't know. A lot of times it's because a lot of times when we want to change, when we want to become healthier, it's only when we are becoming unhealthy. It's only when our health has been taken away from us. And I'm glad that I did WildFit at least a year ago that I have fundamentally changed my own health trajectory. And I'm now in a position that I can help others to do the same thing before it's too late. So Cindy, I'm with you. It's like I don't want us to wait till like we're at that age where we're like, okay, we really need to do something. Like Frank was there. Like Frank, his indexes, blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar level was pretty high before. And he had to do something because the doctors have warned him. And for a lot of us too, a lot of Hong Kongers also went through it. And Cindy, I feel like my duty right now is I want you to change your health trajectory before you get there, before you get to that point where like, oh no, I have to do something, I have to change. So take it easy, Cindy. It's like I said before, that a year, like when I finished the WildFit 90 challenge, I was exactly like where you guys now, like feeling very confused. There's so many things going on, so many WildFit principles, like I'm not able to incorporate it. The thing is, it takes time. Like it definitely takes me at least like 3-4 months, 6 months, up to a year to like really understand all it. And I'll tell you, I'm still learning every day, like from other WildFit coaches, from other WildFit participants. Like it's a never, for me, it just never stopped learning. You know, I'm still learning. There might be some new recipes, or maybe there's some other new health issues going on with other people, and how WildFit has benefited them, right? So did all of you know about Kim's story? Like her story was very inspiring, how she came about doing WildFit. Maybe Kim can retell us your story again, how you went off some really terrible drugs, like all medicine, and you completely changed, right? Kim, tell us that story again, please.
Yeah, I'm happy to. Well, yeah, I got, my health was in a very desperate phase when I found WildFit. I don't know if you remember, but 7 years ago I had a major accident and broke my right leg very badly. And I was in a wheelchair and what have you, and taking very, very heavy painkillers, as well as antidepressants, blood pressure meds, stomach protectors, high cholesterol medication, and I was because my weight had got up to 125 kilos. I was also in the pre-diabetic range, and I'd stopped the doctor from prescribing any of the diabetic drugs and said, look, I need another year. I've got to get on top of this. So, but all that with the heavy painkillers, the oxycodone and what have you, I was absolutely desperate. I was throwing up every single day. I would have nausea every single day. And yeah, that was, you know, my life. I thought, if this is living, this is no life at all. It would impact, you know, Reggie and I would go away for a weekend. I'd end up by having to say to Reggie, look, you go out and explore Paris, but I'll stay in the hotel room, just clutching my stomach, throwing up. And it was just ruining my life. So when WildFit came along, I found it through Mindvalley. By week 4 or 5, my depression had lifted the first time since my teenage years. That was life-changing. I'd come off my stomach protectors, and I think it was about week 8 I posted up that my pain had reduced, my inflammation in my system had reduced so much that I could go off my oxycodone. And that was unbelievable to me, because only about 6 months earlier, a New Zealand doctor had said that I would have to go into a rehab clinic for about 3 months, and I would have to have methadone prescribed to me, just like a heroin addict. So, yeah, WildFit totally saved my life. And I can honestly say I'm off all of my medications. And so, yeah, it's been tremendous, life-changing for me. So, but don't let yourself get that low.
See, so this is what I want to say. It's because both Kim and Reggie have gone through a lot of pain, and they found WildFit, and WildFit has fundamentally, sorry?
Kim, not me. Kim was really in pain and had other issues at the same time as well. Just for me, I don't see myself as painful.
Okay.
It was stupid. That's stupid.
All right. But the point here is, because like Kim put her. I mean, it's fair for me to say Kim is like your last hope on the WildFit challenge. It's like
Totally.
okay, yeah. So Kim,
Yeah.
so the WildFit 90-day challenge was like her last hope, and to really get herself back on track. So she put in her 100% in and follow the rules and guidance like 100%, and she was able to get off the medications, all the medication that she was having before. So it's to me it's like such an inspiring story, and that's one reason why she became a coach and how she wants to help other people not to get to that point that she went through and still able to like change the health trajectory, right? So some of us are lucky that we have not had that experience, but if we can avoid it, why not avoid it, right? If we can get closer to our healthier self, why don't we just stay with that way, right? Go towards that direction instead of like, you know, the really difficult way to go through a lot of hardship and challenge. Then we discover, oh, health is actually important, you know? So yeah.
It is so true. I mean, I used to hear when I was younger, you know, health is the most important thing, and I'd go, oh yeah, whatever, you know, I'm feeling fine. And I didn't pay it any attention at all until it all just went so badly wrong that I was left thinking, what the hell have I done to myself, you know? And realizing that I'd done it to myself as well. But it also gives you the power that you're the one that can change it, of course.
Yes.
So it's in your hands. It's in your hands. That's the beautiful thing about it. It is totally in your hands. And your body is so forgiving. It will give you your health back, that's for sure.
And our bodies have a tremendous healing power. And usually we are the one who gets in the way for our body to heal.
Yeah.
Like our emotions, our mindset, you know, we talk ourselves out of doing something. Like usually it's us getting out in our way for our body to heal. So take it easy, everybody. It's just the beginning of living a closer, healthier state of yourself right now. And speaking of which, all of you, please do your photos, measurements, full measurements, please, like one last time before Friday, because we will want to celebrate all your success and progress on our final graduation call this Friday.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And see you on Friday then. Okay?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, unless anybody have any questions, otherwise we'll wrap up.
Thank you.
Great.
Okay.
Alrighty. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Good luck.
Bye.